Hello and welcome. I've been a teacher since 2012, and this is the best way I've found to teach math. Question. Have you ever sat in a lecture hall feverishly copying down notes that you'll never look at again? Have you ever missed a lecture and had no clue what was going on? Have you ever sat politely with a smile on your face as the person living inside your head screamed, "I get it already, can I go now?" Or, "This is such a waste of time"? Additionally, what about within our classroom? If what I described is similar to your experience, then let's take a look at what our students may be experiencing. Within our classroom are as many different backgrounds and perspectives as they can legally fit within a space. How then can one lesson engage, challenge, and facilitate understanding? On top of that, as teachers, while we work hard to meet the diverse needs of our students, we're also set out to meet professional goals set by ourselves and our district. These might include reducing student failures, analyzing your grading practices, engaging student in real problem solving, increase student collaboration and discourse, increase standardized test scores, etc., etc., etc. What do? How can we accomplish all that we set out to do? This problem is so complex, there can't possibly be a simple solution to make my life easy and take all my cares away, you might say. And you'd be right. So we're going to talk about the next best thing, a starting point. Let's introduce the playlist. Playlists are documents that you share with students. I share mine through Google Classroom. They get one per lesson or one per lesson objective. These playlists structure each lesson to allow for student and teacher choice. I will share how I choose to structure my playlist and why I do it that way, but they can be changed to suit your diverse needs, hence the teacher choice part. First is step one. I begin each class with a rich problem-solving tasks that lead students into the lesson for today, and that all students are asked to collaborate on. Students work together in front of stand-up whiteboards for a given amount of time as I view from a distance. Why do I do this? Well, NCTM talks about the importance of effective mathematics teaching using tasks. Learning theory also talks about how rich problem-solving tasks can be used to create productive problem-solving mathematicians. And specifically, working on a stand-up whiteboard or dry erase surface has been shown to increase student persistence and problem-solving collaborative efforts. Step number 2, we are presented with 3 options, and students can choose how they'd like to be exposed to what one might consider a more traditional mathematics lesson. First, they can view a lecture of the topic. A video has its benefits, such as it can be paused, fast forward, rewatched. They may also choose to view a copy of our class notes. That is a slides presentation very similar to what I use to create the videos. In fact, they are based off of the videos, and they can, once again, go through those slides fast, they can rewatch them, so on and so forth. Last but not least, they may choose to request a conference with me, either one-on-one or with a group. This allows me to address individual concerns while people who feel like they are ready and able to dive into the material independently can do so. Why do I do this? Well, providing students with choice follows Universal Design for Learning guidelines as presented by CAST. And I just think it's fun. Step number 3, students are then provided with a practice assignment, typical to the type of questions they might see on an assessment. I do this because NCTM promotes the idea of moving towards fluency and giving students opportunities to rehearse or practice strategies. Last but not least, step 4, students are asked to demonstrate their learning in one of 3 ways. They can either complete an exit slip, create a problem of their own, similar to those we worked on in the class that day, or summarize the lesson in their own words. Why do I do it this way? well, once again, providing students with choice allows for greater engagement, better meaning, allows students to participate in meaningful learning opportunities, I should say. And because various non-standard grading practices, as those presented by the text Grading for Equity, has been shown to increase student engagement and long-term mastery of the content. All right. Now, I'm not going to lie, there have been some challenges with the implementation of my playlists. First, there have been times when students report the feeling as though they were doing all of the work. Now, I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing, but it is different than what a lot of students I've worked with have experienced in the past. It's on them to dive into the lesson, to get started, to continue the practice, to go on to the next step. And they get to choose the pace, that they wish to progress through that class. It also takes time and effort to create that culture of collaboration. When I just throw a task at them and ask them to collaborate on the whiteboards, it might take some time, and it does take some work to develop that expectation and what students are supposed to do during that problem solving time at the beginning, and also what they're supposed to do during class when they're going through the lessons themselves, so on and so forth. Many students actually rush through the lesson. They'll just breeze through the slides, do a couple practice problems, and then call it a day. Hence, many will also complete minimal amounts of the practice work. I try to get them to reflect on, do they actually know the material, so on and so forth. But ultimately, that's the whole point of giving them choice, is they get to decide when they're ready. And I hope the experience of doing this over several classes teaches them more about how they like to learn and what they need to do to be successful than would happen in a traditional class. That being said, most of them choose a traditional assessment route, such as the exit slip. They just want to do a problem or two rather than creating it or reflecting and creating a list of things to help a classmate or something like that. They like to just solve a few problems versus create. And that actually leads to problems with cheating. Students will just rely on each other or glance over at the person next to them. And so I've had some issues with individual accountability and how to promote collaboration and reinforce that idea while also promoting the idea of you should advocate for your own learning and indicate to yourself as well as me what you truly understand. All right, I hope this video was helpful. Please reach out if I can be of any additional assistance, and please visit us again. Here are my references for all the work cited, as well as some info about the images and my own personal contact info. Hope all is well, and take care.